Alright guys, welcome back to Gilded Gaming and some nighttime crafting. We're just going to be crafting. Making a woolen gown. Quibble. A pair of woolen goskins? Did we make a braid yet? No. Have we been able to need the braid? No, we do a collector. That's right. And we need toad leather. Easy. So this so we have that. We need gigantoid skin. And we need hollow down, and we need sugar feathers. Okay, so for the down, we need to head to Eastern. We will see. Alright, so we want to head to... And we're looking for a color. And we only need like one, right? One out color down. Alright. Let's see if we can get high quality one. If we're gonna come out here and do this, right? These things look like. There we go. And there's some down. There's some down. We got 3 regular. We'll be fine, probably. There's some high quality. Cool. Alright. So next up, we need Gigantode skin. We can get here too. Street. There's Gigantoids over here. Ah. What? This is a very good spot. Okay. Hello. Regular skins. Well, I usually just do it with regular ones. Do it leather. Maybe leather worker. There's one. We have everything for that. That. Now we just need to finish the beret. We just need to get Sugar Feathery. Okay. Actually, botany, right? Yeah. Here we go. This triple feather. Let's raise our chance of high quality. Boom. Back to Weaver. And we should go up to Ray. Okay, that's everything for the quest. Gotta catch up on all these crafting quests. We got like all of our crafting jobs up to like 60, except for well, all of them up to 60 or more. But like they're so far behind on their actual like job quests and stuff. I'm gonna catch them all up. Which the quests are pretty easy now. But full time consuming. That you minus? Okay, so we don't need any of these clothes. Just keep grabbing the money. What's the needles upgrade though? Alright, level 50 quest. That's actually an upgrade for our tool. Shouldn't be an upgrade for our gear. Our gear's all 130. Like the main. Let's see what a crafting quest at level 50 looks like. For the gathering ones, it was all like, go get all these high quality hidden items or something, yeah. Or an item that you have to get at a certain time of day or something. Alright, what we got here? Pair of Patrician's bottoms, wedge cap, goatee. Okay. So, we want Patrician stuff. Belt, we need electrum. We need the wedge cap, the bottoms, and the coatee. Okay, not the gloves or the gaiters. We're gonna need electrum, felt. This is the same stuff. Plus some woolen cloth. Okay. We need 1 electrum, 2 electrum, 3 electrum ingots. Let's go ahead and take care of that. We should. Yeah, we already have the electrum. We need goldsmith. Let's make 3 electrum ingots. 1. And 3. That's our electrons. We've got 1 million. We're gonna need 2 more. Like that. Let's do. Let me make undyed felt. Undyed woolen cloth. And undyed felt and 2 undyed felt, 4 undyed felt, 5 undyed felt. Okay. We don't have any of this stuff. Okay, so we need fleece, snurble tufts, and metron for this. We need rock salt and effervescent water. Hey Claire. Need some notes here. So I need 5 metron is rock salt. Effervescent water. I need snurble tufts. I'm guessing are a drop off of something. And we need 10 fleece, which I believe is a Drop? Much cheaper coming. Okay. Figure out the drops. Snurble Tufts. Drop an Eastern Thanlin. Police. From the Central Highlands. Alright. We'll kill ourselves some stuff. Let's see. We're looking around. What is it? Over here. Oh, nothing around here. Why don't you think I'll open a bakery, Claire? Look, I got above level 60 in every one of them. Bakery's on the way, man. Any day now. Gotta be patient, man. Not good enough. I'm sorry, Claire. What can I do to make it better, man? Give me your fleece. Big one fleece. So the things that are named fleece drop the snurble tufts, not the fleece. Right, okay. Very not confusing at all. Give me your snurble tufts. How many snurble tufts do I need? 5? 5. I need one more snurble tuft. Real enough. Then we go for the high quality ones. We got 4 high quality, 1 more high quality, we can make them all at high quality. Those little ladies one-shotting everything. Give me your drops! It's nice that we don't have to like stop and loot the bodies in this game, you just kinda like hit them and keep going. No, maybe we don't get all high quality. I think our skills high enough, we don't really need that anyways. Operate so. You go on the road to level 1000, but level 80 is the max level, Claire. What am I gonna do? I'm already at the max. Let's on this job. We do gotta give a lot of other jobs to level 80. That's just gonna have to be enough. Let's work on our fleece. So for fleece, let's go to Central Highlands. These guys are supposed to police, I believe. Need 10 fleece for all the stuff we're crafting. Come on. Hmm. the police right there. Okay. That's enough, really. We need rock salt. Get some quarrying black brush. And 5 rock salt. Excellent. Okay, 5 rock salt should be easy. The wrong ability. Oh. On with this. Use 5. We need 5 high quality ones. We get 4 per line here. Here we go. One more. Hey, Minus. Nova and you are both here. Oh, so you are. Sorry, guys. I haven't been looking at the chat. I've been like so focused on my Weaver, and I'm finishing my level 50 Weaver quest. And if you guys want, we can do something. Sorry. Yeah, I got focus mode for a minute there. There we go. Got my rock salt. I need to get 5 effervescent water. Over there. Yeah, your blacksmith almost level 50 just because some ninja crafted weapons look awesome. I have all of my crafting jobs to 60 plus now. So I was like, you know what? I should really catch up on their job quests because I'm going to want to eventually. Right? And whatever little bits of XP they get along the way is helpful. Plus they'll give them some new weapons and stuff. Here's some water. There's one. Realm Reborn crafted weapons should be really cheap on the market board, though. What are you talking about? Oh, like crafting, like so if you can get the weapons without having to train up how to make them, you mean? Oh, speaking of desynthesis, I finally got the quest for desynthesis in Gilded today. I need to go take care of that so I can learn how to do it. I like coming back to these old nodes where like my gathering is good enough that I get like 2 at a time or 3 at a time or 4 at a time. That feels good. Because when I've come back to like mine some different ores or whatever to do these quests, it's just like I get them like super fast, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it. That makes me feel like I got better at this, you know. Unearth 3 lets you get 100% high quality rate. Yeah. Did I have Unearth 3? Where would it go? Or have I not done that quest yet? Maybe that was for a quest I haven't finished. Was that thick skin? Oh yeah, I have to finish thick skin to get it. That's right. I have the quest for it. I've only got 1 high quality. That's some bad luck. Like, statistically, should have gotten more by now. Alright, 2 at a time. Let's up that to 45%. Boom, that's 3. There's 5. Okay, so we got everything we need. Let's go back and craft this stuff. So, we go to Weaver. Let's see, we are making patrician gear. We need a patrician's webcat. We need like undyed felt, so I think we need 5 undyed felt. Oh, we didn't get Natron yet. We gotta get that. That's right, that's what the rock salt and effervescent water was for. Okay. We need 5 of this stuff. Which is alchemy, of course. Okay. "30-minute AFK logout is helping with congestion quite a bit." Yeah, I bet it is. They said it would. And like, I don't think they even need to apologize that much for doing it. It's like, they're like, some people might be upset about this, and I'm like, yeah, but like every other MMO already does it. I think you're good. You know what I mean? Good for you. And Final Fantasy's little message they put out about dealing with the congestion and like, oh my god, we have so many people now, was such a nice letter. And I'm sitting there reading it, and I was like, if Blizzard had this problem, Blizzard would have been like 2-3 hour waits to get in, and they would have been like, well, just deal with it. You know, like they would have given you some half-assed apology that felt like they were saying it was really your fault if you think about it, you know? Yeah, Western culture never wants to admit blame for anything. That's what it is. You know, they don't want to like admit they did something wrong. And honestly, I feel so much better having them just be like, and you know, and the thing is here, in this case, they didn't do anything wrong. You know, this like ridiculously unexpected surge in population. They didn't do anything wrong, and they're still apologizing. You know, beautiful thing. So after I finish this quest, what do you guys want to do? We could level my white mage some more. It's only 11. We can do a lot of things. We'll probably. Oh look, it's Nova. Nova. We could do the main story. You guys are both here. We could do the main story. Oh man. We're on the final quest. We have time. A little bit of craziness. Alright, we need one more. It's the final countdown. Alright, so let's make this undyed belt. It's been 700 allegory to augment. I don't know what you're talking about now. Obviously not talking to me. I don't know why I'm pretending you are. Allegory. I say let's go ahead and do the main story. Let's do it. It'll be fun. And then tomorrow night, we can do more! Why not? Feels good to be getting to the end, man. Feels good. Alright, so we just need to make 4 more of these. I mean, once I get up to the end game, you time to start grinding some cool stuff, right? One more. Oh. Oh. Patrician Wedge. One died fell. Yarn. Ingot. Which cap done? EQT. And the bottle. Okay. Last. Let's go to Precision's Wedge Cap. Where are the bottoms? Over here. Precision's bottoms. Why is this not a pit? Is this a okay? Patrician's bottoms, high quality. Patrician's wedge cap, high quality. And Patrician's coatee, high quality. Why is this not green? Maybe it's because I haven't turned it in. Alright. Here we go. Your gauntlets are ready to go, good sir. Now spiffy. All right. Oh, I gotta follow him. The quest is not over. That's why I didn't turn green. Araruka, what are you doing, bud? I spent so much time making those clothes. Go out there and impress the girl. Mama Jaru. She don't like you, dude. Oh, Jesus! Like, he doesn't block the slap, he puts his cheek in the way of it, right? He takes the hit instead of, like, trying to block it. How dare you, Rachel? Like, oh, Jesus. These random guys, like, hitting on his girl and just goes to slap her. Damn. His face is the ultimate defense. Oh, he's ready. Let's go. Oh, you made a powerful enemy today. Little Lolorito wannabe. I love that, like, this is a Weaver quest, you know. they put work into all their quest lines, man. Nuts. I need to get better at making gear and level up more so that I can have my crafters not all be wearing this. I don't like this outfit. It's like my #1 goal. Get to level 80 so I can design all of my clothes to look better. Yes. And the coolest looking weapons. Yes. We've officially made it to the real game. I spend all my time on glamours. That's all that matters now. Oh. Alright, level 60. So yeah, they are all 60 plus. Weaver and Goldsmith just barely 60, but like all of them are between 60 and 64 now. Good for fishing, but let's not pay attention to that one. Get around to that at some point. But yeah, progress. That's what that's called. All right. So I guess it is time to put on our dancing gear. That's Spider. Put on our dancing gear. And head back to the end of the game. It's time to get back to the final quest of 5.0. The end of Shadowbringers. Rightfully dubbed Shadowbringers. Alright, let's do this. I'm assuming there's gonna be like a trial or a dungeon or something at the end of this, right? It seems like we're getting ready to fight in itself, but I don't know. I'm fine if we don't. We'll fight him and drive him back from this world or something, right? We don't have to kill him. Although, we do have... Oh, we can fly here now, that's right. We do have, one of those crystals you use to kill Ascians, don't we? I think we might. Alright, let's just move on. Hopefully we won't kill him. Look at that picture. Do you remember that talk we had atop the tower in Mordsuk? I'm still of the same mind now as I was then. I don't abandon you, you don't abandon me, and together we make a difference in this fight. There's always hope if we look for it. I saw it again and again as you tore those veils of light from the sky. If we keep taking the next step forward, there's a chance we'll find a way to save you. So no matter how long it takes or how much it hurts, you can count on me to keep on walking. That's true. I feel like at the end of this quest, hopefully Emmett Selk somehow survives, and I would imagine the big resolution is we have to do something about the whole Light Warden Mojo thing before the main character dies, right? So that needs to be taken care of in some form or fashion. But outside of that, oh, let's see. Who knows where the story's going? I love how much they've done in this expansion to like let you see the Ascians' point of view, right? They've made them somewhat sympathetic villains. I mean, they still destroy entire worlds, so there's that. But like, at least you know why they're doing it now, right? At least one version of why they're doing it. Vothri spoke of the disaster we would bring upon our own heads, the ceaseless conflict. Imagine how he would sneer to see what's become of the first, not to mention your perilous predicament. And yet who can deny the fire your deeds have ignited in people's hearts? You achieved what my logic and ideals never could, uniting desperate peoples under the banner of hope and a common purpose. Without you, the giant Talos would never have raised its head. I have borne witness to many such miracles at your side and would do so again, but this is but another obstacle in the road. So come, let us travel it. Drag me through wonder and danger as you are wont to do, and I shall endeavor not to slow you down. As well thou knowest, if we are to usher Emmett Selk into his rest, we must needs bind his Ascian soul and shatter it with overwhelming force. The former task requireth Orasight, and such have I prepared. That's what I thought. Upon Exarch's asking, no less, though 'twas ever mine intent to provide said boon. The future whence our noble friend doth hail is a world fallen to Ascian artifice. He would not see such grim history repeated. My theory is that they don't kill him itself because he's too good, right? So maybe the Exarch gets free, sucks up our light mojo like he originally intended, and then we destroy him with the crystal, the Orasight instead, to like, you know, save the world or whatever. I don't know. In a sense, Emmett Selk's destruction will be the culmination of the Exarch's efforts. Although if the Exarch gets destroyed, then how do we get back to our world? We didn't talk about that part, right? Like, he was like, I'm gonna suck up all the light and then go off into the ether or something, but like, how do we get back? Because don't we need him? In a sense, his destruction will be the culmination of the Exarch's efforts, a reward for all he hath endured these many years. Yet even as thou stridest into the jaws of peril, forget not but that his fondest wish, and that of many others besides, is to see thee survive unto the morrow. It is in pursuit of that happiest of outcomes that I do pledge to remain at thy side. I hope Reen like grows more in the next expansion. She's like the start of a character, but she's so timid. I haven't really gotten to know her much yet. But I mean, like, you know, she's been dealing with her issues with being Minfilia-ish, you know? Minfilia, but not Minfilia. She seems like she's going to be a really cool character, though. Shola, you don't need to improve. You're already awesome. That's quite the mount you got there. Our time in the First has been a never-ending succession of trials, as arduous as our path in the Source ever was. Yet through all our journeys together, through that deep and foreboding wood, you have helped me to stay true to my convictions. Thus would I return the favor. Do as your heart decrees, without hesitation or regret. That is all I will say on the matter. Looking good, Nova? Well, this has put everyone in a solemn mood, hasn't it? Honestly, we're not even sure this will be the end of it. But I suppose we should speak our minds when we have the opportunity. You taught me that much in Amarang. So forgive me this moment of sentiment, Elheim. By dragging me into this sorry mess, you've given me the chance to think and act as I should have. Rins? Oh, I keep messing up her name. I haven't heard it enough. Words cannot express how much this has changed my life or how grateful I am for your support. So I shall express my gratitude through action instead. No matter where you decide to go, I will be there guarding your back. Reem. Alright. What you got to say, girl? When Minfilia entrusted me with her power, she warned me that no matter how strong you become, you can still fall victim to despair. You can still feel powerless. And she was right. After you collapsed on Mount Gold, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. If I made a mistake, if I failed to bind the light within you, I was terrified you would die. Even now, you could be moments from turning, and I wouldn't know how to save you. You, Thancred, and the others have all been there when I needed help. Minfilia surrendered her life to me, her legacy. I should be ready to do the same for you, and I do, but I'm not good enough. Oh, she's still got a lot of... Gotta work on her self-image. But, what do I think? I had a thought. I still have questions, and I talked about this last week. Well, not last week. 2 days ago, right? Sunday? What was the calamity that was, like, affecting, like, the other countries or whatever that was coming to them that they felt the need to create Zodiark in the first place? Like, what was the original calamity? And was their creation magic causing it? Is part of it. And then also, if Hydaelyn is indeed just a primal, a really, really super large primal, then, like, does that make Minfilia just, like, someone who's been, like, turned even though she had the Echo? Like, she's, like, the avatar of a primal now? No, like, when we're here in, this city here, we talk to people and they're talking about some great calamity that's affecting other parts of their world, and that might eventually come here, and whether or not they should intervene, and like they were going to summon Zodiark for that. Just keep playing. Fair enough. She told me to follow your example, and I've tried. I've really tried. Then you shouldn't hang your head. Shouldn't. We must keep looking forward like the heroes who never give up hope for this world. Summon a meteor? That's what they did at the end of 1.0, right? I'm not sure who you... Actually, never mind. I think the answer might be different for all of us. Fate can be cruel, but a smile better suits a hero. I knew it sounded familiar. I couldn't remember what it was from. Thanks, Miles. No, nothing will come of brooding here in self-pity. I made my decision. Elheim, I'm going with you. Okay. Welcome to the capital. All visitors must present an official writ of permission before admittance will be granted. Your documents appear to be in order. You may proceed into the capital, but any guests you may choose to bring with you must remain in your vicinity at all times.
This really is unacceptable. I gave you very specific instructions.
Emmett Selk.
My invitation was for an abomination, ripe with the power to bring about the world's annihilation. Not this half-broken thing. Whatever am I to do with you? And I see you insist on keeping the same familiar company. Are you so lost without them?
It is not she who is lost without the familiar.
I also wonder about the 14th member of the, so they said that the leaders of this utopia here, there was 14 of them, but there was only 13 at the meeting where they were working on making Zodiac or whatever. What happened to the 14th? And then right after talking about that, the guy at the little DMV place told us basically about how it's no wonder us and the Warrior of Light from the other world were bonded together because we're basically the same person, right? And that made me wonder, so if every world has a Warrior of Light, then why wouldn't have been itself's original world, right? And so maybe that's who the 14th person is. And if so, does he, like, the guy mentioned that he would have recognized us, right? Like, could the 14th person have been the Warrior of Light, the original one?
Not content with remaking an entire
And what
city,
happened to them?
you aim to fill it with the reconstituted souls of the dead.
I may have gotten a little carried away in attention to detail. Added a few unnecessary flourishes.
Accidentally added more information than I meant to give you.
Well, there's no point trying to hide it. Yes. Once the rejoining of worlds is complete, Zodiac will regain his full strength and shatter his prison.
Or even better, and what I would love, because it would mean he wasn't going to die, is if Emmett Selk were the original Warrior of Light. That'd be awesome, right? Let's keep him around all the time.
Then we shall offer up the source's remaining inhabitants in sacrifice, that we might resurrect our brethren who died to bring Zodiac.
But that doesn't explain the 14th person thing.
But what was it that you came here to do exactly?
And what about the eye thing? Like, is that like Garleans are the only ones who have that? And even in the first, there's no race in the first that has this like third eye thing, but Emmett Selk has it too. But then he's also in a Garlean body, I guess. It's a weird anatomical feature that is specific to one race in one world so far. It seems important. We came here for the Exarch.
Well, you can't have him. The wisdom that man guards may open up new worlds of possibilities. He has unlocked the secrets of travel across the rift, and through time as well, it would seem. Quite an accomplishment for one of his incomplete nature. I must explore the limits of his capabilities and harness that power for the Ardor.
Also an interesting thing, so the Ascians consider themselves complete, and everyone else from the Splinter worlds are incomplete, right? Then theoretically, none of the Ascians should exist in any of the Splinter worlds as like alternate selves, because for them to have split up, then they would have to be incomplete, right? So if they're complete, then maybe they don't have any other selves.
Even now, after everything, you refuse to see reason. You think it unfair that you are subject to suffering? That your lives will be sacrificed for the ancients? Look at me! I have lived 1,000 of your lives. I have broken bread with you, fought with you, grown ill, grown old, sired children, and yes, welcomed death's sweet embrace. For eons have I measured your worth and found you wanting. Too weak and feeble-minded to serve as stewards of any star. Have your recent spats with Vorthri and his Sin Eaters taught you nothing? Have you not learned that your ignorance and frailty beget only endless misery? How long do you mean to perpetuate this farce? How much more must I endure your bumbling interference? Let us imagine that the laws of reality are again undone and the world faces true annihilation. Do you honestly believe that half your number would sacrifice themselves to save the other? Of course they wouldn't! And if you had witnessed history unfold as I have, you would reach the same conclusion. You cannot be entrusted with our legacy. I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones. The world belongs to us and us alone.
What's he gonna do the next time that like, if his plan succeeds, what's he do the next time Zodiark gets hungry?
Emmet Selk! We understand, truly, but it makes no difference. The ones you love are in the past, while ours are here in the present. One day, we too will be ashes and dust, but not today. Our time is not yet finished. We share your conviction, and that is why we will not abandon our course.
You think us the same? You think your tattered soul of equal worth to those I lost?
That look, dude.
Then come. Earn your place. Prove yourselves worthy to inherit this star. Behold the coming oblivion. 'Twas the end of our era and the beginning of our great work. A fitting backdrop for your final judgment.
Is this gonna be a trial? Us versus him itself.
shall wait within. But do not spend too much time on your preparations. There's no telling how much longer the guest of honor will last.
Come on. Did a freaking Sephiroth on us. Alright. Amarok now is accessible. Oh, it's a dungeon. So we gotta do a dungeon to get to him, huh? Well, it's gonna be like Vothri, where it's like a dungeon followed by a trial. Music's bumping. A pretty cool halberd. Allegan Tombstones of Revelation. Allegan Tombstone of Allegory. So there's you have Allegory and Revelation, huh? Yay, new tombstones. Insta-Q. Let's go. Would not mind the new tombstones if they would drop more. He's gotta do more dungeons, man. Dungeon it up. Dungeon, 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 dungeon. Ooh, nice axe.
Welcome to the final days of Amarant.
Alright, dancing buddy. Let's dance. Where did our tank go? Lord Dingus is a dingus! No, come on. It looks so cool though. What do we do? Do we wait? Well, we haven't even started yet. Is there a way to replace him? Oh, he's back. Sweet. Yay! Thank God. Boom! Damn.
The fabric of our star began to fray, and the unchecked energies of creation begat malformed beasts.
the star began to come apart and unchecked powers of creation were let loose, huh? See, that sounds to me like their creation magic had a fatal problem with it. Like, there had to be some cost for all that shit. That they were just rampantly making whatever the hell they could think of constantly. And they said like their souls were so powerful they could just do it, but I don't know if that's true. You talking to the tank?
Just as prayer gives rise to pridals, our dread made manifest our deepest fears.
Damn, that's kind of terrifying. The first beast. Alright, first boss. The freaking mouths all over it. Look at this thing. This is some eldritch shit right here. I should probably spread this out, yeah. Oh, behind the rock. I get it. Oh, come on, I was behind the rock! I died behind the rock. What's that about? Oh. Thank you. Alright. Yes, please. This dungeon looks freaking awesome. Can we just take a minute to be like, oh my god, that's awesome. This has to be one of the coolest dungeons we've done. Just as far as like what's going on in the backdrop of it all. The constant meteor shower is a little annoying, but you know, that's just part of the aesthetic. Right? And you constantly have to move because of the damn meteors and just regular trash bags.
The land buckled. The cities burned. The waters ran red with blood.
Jesus. What's that monster over there? Looks like a freaking weapon or something. So I almost wonder if like they're saying like the star itself was having issues, right? I wonder if like they were like using up the life stream or something to do their creation magic. Like this could be like a Final Fantasy VII story where like the Earth fought back, you know, and like unleashed weapons or some shit. Like they haven't described the calamity yet, really. Unless this is what they're trying to describe here. But it affected another place first. If it was their creation going crazy, you think it would have affected them first. Calamity has no more pancakes. Terminus Bellwether. We're blowing through his health bar way too fast. There must be more phases or something. Yeah, okay. Makes more sense. So the bomb chases me, huh? Do this. Big groups. Burst seems like something you don't want to do. Kind of reminds me of like the fat cockatrice from Final Fantasy.
Yet this is far from
Tactics Advanced too, but it doesn't look like it on the front.
Come, and I will show you.
Alright. Check the food real quick. No. And no. Ethereal flow. Oh shit. Oh shit. What the hell is that thing? Is there tank already up there? Where's he at? Oh, he's like, we're not even fighting him. He's just like off to the side shooting beams at us. Got it. Maybe that's the boss though.
The star was fading. We saw we had to weave its laws anew.
Yeah, because this guy's gonna be the big boss at the end, huh? Oh shit. Look down? Okay. Alright. Whoa. We're in space. That's freaking beautiful. I wish I could look at it more. I'm a little busy. Like, we're holding the boss on this tiny little platform where, like, if he shoots that beam down here, it's like there's no room to dodge it unless you move away. Not the boss, but the enemies, you know what I mean? Whoa. I'm coming.
Between us and our goal loomed a final misbegotten fiend.
The hell is this thing? Chthonic Riddle? Therian? You can fall off. No, we fell off? But our healer fell off? Look at this guy. Oh my god, is he gonna shoot a beam down here that we have to get in these little nooks to dodge it? Is that what this is? And you can fall off? Oh my god. Is that what's gonna happen here? I'm just seeing these little alcoves on the sides. And yeah. Anything I should know about this fight? While we wait for Nova to come back? Cool looking boss. I'm sure he's in. Alright. We're already starting without Nova? Just have any amount of smarts to it. Oh, Nova's here now, okay. Oh, I was right, you do have to get in the alcoves. Oh my god. Very in charge, that seems bad. Ow. Oh, so he moves forward. Okay. Deathly Ray seems bad too. Oh, okay. Ah! What a dick. Turn down the room. %3 to go. Oh shit. He's like breaking the sides off. Whew. Good job, guys. That's like a bit of a like demon wall kind of thing going on where he's slowly pushing you up. It's an interesting battle there for sure. Holy crap. Whew. Oh, I'm sure I'll come back here. It does look pretty though. One thing I'm not noticing is the moon on the other side, or is there no moon yet? But theoretically, the moon could be on the other side of the planet. But from here, we cannot see a moon. Are both the moons artificial here? Look at the landmass. It's like... Yeah, 32-bit is super old at this point. That's fine. Here you go.
Well, well, you prevailed. Nevertheless...
Your performance was underwhelming, and I remain unconvinced of your worthiness. Oh, you tower over your misbegotten ilk, no doubt. But should I bring my full strength to bear, well, you would be as leaves in the wind. The gulf between us is a reflection of the disparity between the world as it was and what it has become.
Alice, damn girl.
Our worlds may not live up to your lofty standards, but they are our worlds, our homes, full of life and love and hope. And we won't stand by and let you destroy them!
Alizé!
You are a mistake. For we who have known perfection, the shattered source and these shards are ghastly mockeries of the true world. The ephemeral lives you exalt are pale imitations, utterly devoid of meaning.
Belittle us all you like, but we will rise again and again, and give the lie to your insults through word and deed. We define our worth, not the circumstances of our creation.
Ha! More prattle.
Fool, who are you? No one, nothing. Once I have reclaimed my heritage, my first act will be to expunge your stain from history's weave. My world will have no need for heroes.
Those shoes.
Still fighting the good fight.
It is true that all we hold dear is fated to fade away, but that is no reason for us to forsake it.
To take what steps we may, and thus mark the road for those who would follow. To strive for the best of all futures. Be this not also thy purpose?
Do not presume to speak of my future.
Asking out.
And you? Why waste your final moments in futile defiance? Weary wanderer, you've no fight left to fight, no life left to live. You see, the light will not be denied. Surrender to your fate, and let the transformation take you. Rise up in madness and fury. Devour the vermin infesting the land which is rightfully ours. Now, Reed! Now!
Fight it. You have to hold on.
Oh, yeah.
If you had the strength to take another step, could you do it? Could you save our worlds?
You know I could. Does he have to give himself up to save us from this light nonsense?
Take it. We fight as one.
This world is not yours to end. This is our future. Our story.
No, it can't be.
Yeah, so he saw the original warrior light, right? The rogue figure.
That trick of the light. You are a broken husk.
Yeah.
How can you hope to stand against me alone?
We stand together.
Oh, you're here too.
How? I'm surprised you can stand at all.
I could not well leave matters half finished. Let expanse contract, eon become instant. Champions from beyond the rift, heed my call!
Damn you all!
Yeah. One way or another, it's gonna end. He's summoning up like the other Warriors of Light. What's he doing right now?
Very well.
This is a good song.
Let us proceed to your final judgment. The victor shall write the tale, and the vanquished become its villain.
Seven summoning circles. Oh, he's summoning in the people for the trial, huh?
Let us cast aside titles and pretense, and reveal our true faces to one another. I am Hades.
Hades?
He who shall awaken our brethren from their dark slumber.
Oh, okay. He's gonna turn into Hades? Okay. So I guess trial against Hades? The dying gasp. Okay. Read the trial description? I will. They make its own words. You are no one, nothing. Your life a ghastly mockery of past perception, utterly devoid of meaning, yet despite its endless reputations of your worth, mankind has dreamed and struggled and survived. Even now, you fight to preserve your future and spare two worlds from unimaginable destruction. The moment has come to make your stand, to call upon every last reserve of strength. Fight for those who shared your journey and those you met along the way. Fight for those who awaited your coming across the boundary of space and time. And really, Claire. From distant stars yet undimmed, you are joined by 7 summoned champions. For only together can you hope to prevail against the staggering might of this ancient Ascian and immortal implacable Hades. Fair enough. You guys ready? Like average wait time 10 minutes. Fair enough. It's alright. We'll get in there. This is the end of the end, right? This plus cutscenes and we're done with 5.0, you know? That's an achievement, man. We're just in a black void now. While we're waiting, anything we need to know about a fight with Hades? Excuse me. Is this what we're gonna fight it on? This circle thing? Item level sync is a joke. People will get to help us out. Okay. Gotcha. Cool. We shouldn't worry too much. We just need to wait for people to join up. Although notably, I only have 78k. Like, my gear isn't amazing, but good to know. Average item level 410. 424. Since to 530, gotcha. I'm just saying, like, I'm nowhere. I'm near the low end myself, but I'm sure we'll get in a lot of people with in-game stuff, right? Hopefully. I mean, it's almost 1 a.m. here, so I don't know how many people are doing their roulettes at this point. But if we wait till tomorrow, it'll be like 8 p.m. and that'll be the same problem possibly. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if we're gonna get anybody from the FC. Only 38 people that are online and on the homeworld. I wish you could like sort and filter this better, you know? Seems kind of crappy. Can't. Well, we're 5 minutes in, halfway to the average wait time. Bunch of attacks that use visual cues other than the standard AoE marker. Make sure to pay attention to the attacks. I'll do my best, man. First time through is probably gonna be hard. 7 minutes in. Shouldn't be much longer. That's fair. It just gives me something to look at. Do gathering while we wait. Or just talk. Oh man, I wonder how long it's going to take to get the last 20 levels of each of these. Probably going to take a while. Dwarf Beast Tribe crafting quests and get you around a level a day. Cool. But like, I need a level a day for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different jobs. So like if I needed 10 levels and I got a level a day, it would take me 80 days to level all of them from 70 to 80, right? I'm probably gonna power them faster now. Just grind whatever mats I need. Just keep crafting until you get 80. We did get a 4th GPS. The one we needed the least. I wish you could talk to people that were in the queue with you, you know? Especially when you're going to be in a queue this long. Be like, hey man, what's up? Welcome to the queue. Step back in Heavensward. The Heavensward felt like a solid RPG, but Shadowbringers feels like a solid. Thoughts? I I think there's a very large difference between A Realm Reborn and the expansions. Like, I feel like A Realm Reborn was a pretty good MMO story. Honestly, even then, better than WoW as far as just questing through the main story. Then, like, Heavensward was actually like a pretty good story in its own right, but I don't know if I'd say it was like I think it was still just a really it was gone from just being a good MMO story being like a really good MMO story, but it's still like an MMO story. Like, I don't think that the story of Heavensward could have easily carried an RPG without more tweaking. Like as like a standalone game. I think it was good. Actually, I take that back. I probably could have, but like, and then Stormblood and Heavensward are about the same for me. But then Shadowbringers is just, oh my god, Shadowbringers is amazing. Like, the story gets so much better as soon as you get to Heavensward. Stormblood had some pacing issues. That's Stormblood's problem. But like, especially because it tried to do both Girabanya and it tried to do the Far East and Alamigo at the same time. Those could have been two separate expansions, honestly, you know? I feel like they could have totally had an expansion that focused on Girabanya and an expansion that focused on Doma, and it would have, if they expanded the stories a little bit for that, it would have been awesome. You know what I mean? Shadowbringers is not even a contest. Shadowbringers is just the best. Like, you can't even compare them. It's really, really good. But at the same time, it's building off of all the things that have been set up by everything before it, which is really like how it does such a good job of being such a good Final Fantasy story. Is that it's a real, like, if you took Shadowbringers, forgetting everything else before it, and just took it as a standalone thing, it would be one of the best Final Fantasy stories anyways. Even without all the setup. If you tweak a couple things to deal with the fact that you didn't have all the setup, it would still be one of the best Final Fantasy stories. I mean, let's be honest. If you go back and play like Final Fantasy, honestly, any of them, the main console games, their stories don't touch Shadowbringers. But then if you add on that like 200 hours of preamble that sets it up and gives you backstory and gets you to know and love all these characters and have all these other adventures with them before you even get here, it's in a whole nother league. Like, I don't know that they could make a mainline Final Fantasy that had a story that good. But I feel like even if you skip straight to Shadowbringers, the story of Shadowbringers is at least on the level of like a regular console Final Fantasy. Like, you can compare like Shadowbringers to like Final Fantasy 9 or Final Fantasy 6 or any of them really. But you definitely like, for the best effect, yeah, you got to do the whole thing for sure. Like, to have had dealt with the Ascians all these times in the past and never really known their whole thing, have dealt with the Garlean Empire all these times in the past. The way that they did Shadowbringers, I feel like they already know the end of Endwalker. You know what I mean? I feel like when they wrote Shadowbringers, they already have the next chapter in mind. Because as amazing as Shadowbringers is, introducing a whole nother world and everything, this stuff with Emmett Selk and the Ascians is all preamble to Endwalker. I mean, I haven't done the patches, maybe some of it will get resolved there, but like for the most part, he is telling their story and their backstory and being an awesome villain, but it's sort of secondary to the actual story of Shadowbringers. Most of Shadowbringers is dealing with this other world, and, you know, stopping the Light Wardens and meeting all these characters in this other world and experiencing what it's like to be the Warrior of Darkness and all this. And Emmett is kind of in the background most of the time. He comes along with you for the whole story, and here at the very end we get a big focus on him. But even now, he's giving us backstory for the Ascians. It's like all set up for what's to come, you know? They're really like building all, like getting all their blocks in a row for like a big confrontation with the Ascians, which is what I assume Endwalker is going to be. Oh, here we go. Come on, final DPS. Yes. Dude, we're nowhere near 30 minutes, dude. I'm used to playing WoW. WoW's always had a logout timer. I think pretty much every MMO I've played has had a logout timer. I was kind of surprised that Final Fantasy didn't. Whoa. Hades in itself is interesting looking. Look at the mask on his chest.
Its strength, and I shall expose the lie of your fragmented existence.
The only sad part about fighting Hades is I feel like we're gonna kill Emmett and I'm gonna miss him. I don't feel like any of the other Ascians could live up to his swagger. Fight the staff he's got there.
Darkness reigns.
Double.
You are worth.
Dark Eruption. Oh, hello.
The arcane is mine to command.
Yeah.
Bleed full. Scurry and scatter. By darkness return.
Okay. River of the Ancients. Damn. They annihilated those guys. It's, the item level is a little bit high, huh?
By this vessel of flesh.
Okay. Any further Ascians to fight us? Fighting the mask. Alright, phase 3, I guess? Whoa. Okay.
Behold, a sorcerer of El, tremble before my glory.
There we go. That was done with me. I have learned. On my head. Got focused on my abilities too much. I see. Okay. I see what you mean by the visual cues. Imperial Jail. Full strike. Oh. Buffs out. 1% each. Lock this all down. This in a circle. Phase 4? Light within our champions goes. Active time maneuver. Okay.
Damn you! Damn your magic blessing!
Okay. Well, almost over. 1%. Dead. GG. Hades is down. Honestly, I liked Emmett Selk just being Emmett Selk. He didn't need to be Hades, but that's cool too. Cutscene time.
Should I surrender this fight? What will become of it all? What will become of our dreams?
Tancred. Oh, there it goes. That's how you're supposed to use the ore site, Tancred, but I guess it's gonna work out. Nice.
Such infernal strength!
Now! Strike with all thy might!
Nice. Artbird's axe. It is beautiful. I mean, I'm in the way of it somewhat. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how they're gonna top him as a villain though. He was so good. And the city's all destroyed now. No.
Remember. Remember us. Remember that we once lived.
I'll miss you, bud.
It's
Xanderkin.
over. Emmett Selk is no more.
More importantly, how do you fare?
We're above the water. Like, where are we at this point? Are we still inside his dream world? Like, what is this?
What dost thou see?
Her ether. It is as it used to be. As a disciple of Zodiac, the Ascian was the darkness to your light. I can but assume that when you set your strength against his, the light within you was spent.
That's convenient.
It's more than that. Under the strain of that incredible flood of ether, your soul had begun to break apart. Yet now it seems somehow restored.
I got a second piece of myself.
I tried to help you before the battle, but Emmett Selk stopped me. So, how did you... exactly what did you... Can you tell us what happened?
We never really tell them about Artbird at all, really. You know? Poor guy. I had help from a hero of this world.
I see.
Hey, XR! What's up, bud? We gotta go home now.
Where to start? I believe I owe you all an apology. And you, most especially.
You're like, okay, now you need to go rest up, recharge your batteries, and then pull us into the past of the other worlds that have been destroyed, and we'll just undo all the things. Right? Alright. Good to see you awake.
Well, 'tis good to be awake.
And now we have like this
These
whole.
mad souls dove straight into the ocean over there, did they?
All I could see.
We have a whole second world now full of characters that we know and may or may not like. When we move forward to Endwalker, do we keep having anything to do with them, or is it like, well, we had our adventure in that world and now we're gonna back to the real world, or the source?
As you say, my love. They're sure to be back any moment now. Any moment.
But I guess that's true of pretty much any expansion, right? We don't need to go back to Ishgard anymore. Doma. How much we go back to Doma? The expansion's over.
They are coming back, aren't they? Couldn't bear the thought of.
There, dear. Everything will be all right.
I mean, they've been having like a war with the Garleans without us this whole expansion. Freaking Estinian and all them were just like dealing with the Garleans and their new weapon of mass destruction. We didn't have any part in that. Probably should go help with that at some point. I just wonder, like, if you play as different jobs and have different gear, some of these scenes could look so different, you know? Like my warrior of light's always just like chilling in like dancer clothes and shit. But you could be like a paladin coming up out of the water.
Heavens.
I almost look ready for the beach, but you know, like, you could be in full plate.
Alpha. Oh, hells. He's
not the best swimmer.
He must have fallen behind.
But shouldn't we look for him?
He'll wash up sooner or later.
For the love of Alphino!
Oh, yeah.
And thus did salvation come to the first. The lamps of Amarot will fade along with Emet-Selk's enchantments, and the depths shall be as once they were.
Are they gonna be able to go beyond like the edge of the flood now? Right? We got rid of all the light wardens and everything.
Mount Gulg will one day fall, and the Talos below yield to wind and rain. This tale, too, will fade with time, passing into legend as the world heals and moves on.
Next expansion, we need to head to the Doma of the First. Across the wall of the flood.
Nevertheless,
or did they have an equivalent to the Empire in that world? And like all of its lands got sucked up by the flood, but theoretically, I mean, some of them could have red refugees or something, but you don't see them at all. you gonna do with your crystal tower now, bud?
As ether obeys the cycle, as death and decay gives way to new life, so too do the memories we share inspire others to rise to greatness. For we who walk before may lead those who walk after. Your road goes ever on, as does your story, as does your legacy. Such is the hero's lot, to touch the lives of countless others.
Excuse me? You're the Warrior of Darkness, aren't you?
Yeah. Or light, depending on your perception.
Where are you from, really? And how did you get to be so strong?
Alright. Back to the music. Credits for Shadowbringers, guys. We made it. Oh. We're at the end, but it ain't over yet. We got patches to do. We got in-game content to do. We still have some Stormblood stuff we skipped. Some of the trials back there. We got more classes to level up. I gotta finish my crafting and my gathering. We gotta get ready for Endwalker. We got what, like 4 months till Endwalker? There are more cutscenes after the credits. I think I need to skip the credits then because it's late. I had to get to work in the morning, so we're skipping them. As good as this song is.
By your deeds has the blinding light been banished from these skies, and the Sin Eaters driven to retreat. Although our many hurts will be years in the mending, I have faith that this world and her people will one day be whole once more. With no rejoining in prospect, the Source need no longer fear the coming of an 8th umbral calamity.
And with that triumph, the future from which you came will no longer come to pass. Yet here you still stand.
So I do. I wonder if that other age continues onward somehow, cut adrift from time's flow. Or have I simply etched myself a place upon this new block of history? Either way, this is an unexpected development. As the summoner of your souls, my death was meant to release you back to your world.
Well, that's how we would have done
Yet
that.
I am very much alive, and you are still stuck here in the first.
I believe I speak for us all when I say that we are happy to postpone our return if it means your life is spared. We will seek out another way.
Besides, I never had any intention of rushing home. There are people here I still need to thank, and this means I might actually have time to do so.
Yet we dare not neglect our comrades in the source. Mistress Tataru, to name but one, will be most anxious to know how things stand with us.
So, you'll just have to make the journey alone for the moment. Be sure and give a full report to our fellow scions, would you? Oh, and we'd also appreciate any news you can bring us from back home.
Then I see no reason to delay. I can open the path from here.
I imagine we each have matters demanding our attention, so let this be a farewell for us all.
Oh, we're just gonna take a break and finish up around here before we go back, huh?
We've resummoned our friend. Oh, and do try to ensure she arrives within this city next time.
Of course. I shall strive for utmost accuracy. No strange forests or unplanned passengers, I promise.
I'm a little relieved, to be honest. I would have been terribly lonely if everyone had suddenly disappeared. But I understand that you have to go. Safe journey, warrior of darkness. I hope to see you again soon.
I guess Reen belongs in this world, huh? Yeah.
Just a moment while I attune the portal. Then you can be on your way.
But we get to go back there. Okay. Fair enough. For now. Gotta find out what's been going on while we've been gone.
When I was a boy, many long years ago, I yearned to stand tall as the heroes of Eld. But like a fool seeking to pluck the stars from the heavens, my every attempt to reprise their deeds fell short. And then one day, an all but forgotten dream from my youth stood before me in the flesh. A hero who looked at the horizon and beyond and saw I knew not what. All I knew was that I would give anything to stand at that hero's side. Would that it was so easy. The glory of the heavens was ever beyond the grasp of those who never thought to reach for it. But if I have gained anything from all of this, it is the courage to stretch out my hand.
The question now is what to do tomorrow. Do we start 5.1?
Do you hear me, Grahatia? This is no time for sleeping.
what? Did he just say something to himself? Or is that implying that that's not who that is? Alright, anyway, back in the Imperial Palace. So these guys have been making some progress.
To the west gate. I want to know what's happening there.
Yeah, I'm all for...
Struck down with a single blow. An unfortunate day to draw guard duty.
Xenos, probably. I'm all for doing the raids to get the tombstones we need to get myself some gear. That sounds like a really good idea. Sounds good, Minus.
Forgive me. These were your people.
We took advantage of this slaughter to slip into the palace. 'Tis not for me to grieve them. That was the Emperor. Wait! Ah! Your Radiance!
Gaius, you've missed your part in this, I'm afraid.
Identify yourself, demon!
The Xenos?
You were hoping for the Ascian?
Nice.
The Raven shed this skin and fled, rather than face me. A pity. I was looking forward to crossing blades with myself. But I cannot deny the feeling of satisfaction. Body and soul reunited at last.
What now? The game continues, but the pieces have changed.
Only if we trust in a paragon's words. A mistake I do not intend to repeat. Gaius!
He speaks the truth. Elidibus is gone. Tore a hole into the rift. Xenos, my foolish, greedy son. Was a second life not enough? Was the Empire too rich a prize to ignore? True freedom for our nation, our people, will never be won by a spoiled princeling. The burden of this throne is beyond you.
'Tis you, father, who have struggled with this burden. Simply holding the Empire together has occupied your limited faculties. But you may take comfort in knowing that I have no intention of pursuing your tedious agenda. Nor am I interested in ruling over the Empire's lands.
Do you want them?
I came only to remove that which ruins my sport. I will not have my prey stolen by your petty wars and cowardly weapons.
Is he just like trying to make sure that no one but him gets to fight us? Is that what this is?
You would kill me just for that.
Oh, that's all he cares about. You didn't figure that out yet?
I need no other reason. Any and all who interfere with my hunt.
Good lord.
Will not do so twice!
So here's how we defeat the Ascians. We just tell Xenos that we can't fight him until they're all dead.
I heard the Ascians speak of Zodiac and Eidolon. Even the will of this star is but a construct of our own making. We shall gorge upon their strength, and then, my friend, our contest shall begin anew.
You got them crazy eyes. Guys, don't. That's a bad move. Wow! It's not over yet. Where the hell are we? We're in the Circus Trench. Oh, that makes sense. How's it going, guys? Just, get on back to Revenant's Toll. Go say hi to Totaru and see how things are there. Just waltz on in. Hey, how's it going? I've been hanging out in another world. What's up with you? How's that war with the Empire treating you? Everybody still in a coma? Don't worry about them. Oh, okay. But! Elheim, is it really you? Hey, what's up? but how? When? We didn't think you'd be back for ages. You want me to go again? Yeah, Tatara needs a gear upgrade. Totally. Don't be daft. I just can't believe you're back. She had a gear upgrade. She's like downgraded. We heard the good news from your pixie friend, but nothing compares to seeing you in the flesh. As for the situation on this side, the Imperials are still eyeing our forces from afar. From what I'm told, the Garlean armies have been slow to react, seem reluctant to commit any large-scale engagements. It's an odd sort of stalemate. Otherwise, we've yet to see any sign of that awful Black Rose weapon we were warned about. Oh, but I suppose we did call in an old friend to help out on that count. Kryl and I had a terrible time tracking him down, so it will be worth it to see the look on your face when you find out who it is. Anyway, I was just about to make contact with this helper of ours and then confirm the latest news from the front. Might you fancy having a rest while I do? The Warrior of Light, back where she belongs, just as if nothing had happened. But you do seem different somehow. You'll have to tell me all about your adventures when we next have a spare moment. Until then, welcome back. Wait. That's that. Wind up, Gratia. Nice. Tomorrow and tomorrow. That's it, guys. That's 5.0 complete. The next quest should be the start of 5.1, right? Oh. On the moon! Oblivion has claimed him. Emmett Selk gone, Mahabrea gone. I alone remain, the last of the unbroken. Oh, there you go. Elidibus is the only one that's whole still. You thought you were done with cutscenes, but it was I, obligatory Elidibus Moon cutscene. So he's the last unbroken one, huh? He's like the most powerful being in the world, theoretically, by their standards, right? Once more I am moved to reevaluate the potential of these tattered souls. Ah, Xenos, never did I dream you could overpower me so completely, possessed as I was of your body and all its uncanny strength. And now that I have shared with you the truth of this world and its reflections, who can predict how events will unfold? Not I. Emissary. What a poor jest that title has become. The flow of history has become muddied, its currents wild and beyond my capacity to direct them. You have wrested the advantage, Heidelin. The thieving hands of your disciples tighten their grip on our star. The origins of the world remain hidden and its inhabitants ignorant of their broken existence, just as you and your creators desired. They celebrate the gift of imperfect life, uncaring, unknowing as we weaken and fade. But do not imagine yourself rid of us. Though your champion has indeed proven the most egregious obstacle to our ascendance and barbed thorn in my side, she may yet be removed and cast into the abyss. Oh yes, it can be done. I will keep these heroes mired in the first, and victory will be ours at the last. Warriors of darkness now are they, when their fate is decided. They shall meet the same end as those who came before, death at the hands of the warriors of light. Interesting. More cutscenes. Where's this at? Okay. It's super white. Is this like on the other side of... Is this the part that got hit by the flood? What is this? Seems you were right. Yes, there is something out there. But it would mean crossing malms and malms of this infernal emptiness, which is rather unhealthy for living creatures as I understand it. Even were we to restrict ourselves to brief forays, I don't like to imagine the effect it would have on our ether. But you still want to go, don't you? So there's something out there, huh? We may have saved the world, but we haven't reclaimed it. You put it that way. What choice do we have? So we're not done there yet. Well, of course I'm going with you. That's what family's for, isn't it? Come, let's head back and prepare for this mad journey of yours. Thank you, Thancred. Though blazing skies give way to gentle night, what hand can end the war of dark and light? We completed the main scenario quest, Shadowbringers. By opening the Trust interface located under Duty, you may now repeat previously completed main scenario dungeons with a party of Avatar NPCs. Avatars will gain XP and level up in accordance with their duty participation, and for more information... You can level up your party member, NPCs too. Okay. Furthermore, bolstered by your experience in the first, you are now able to accept new quests from job-related NPCs in the source. In order to access them, the following conditions must be met. Reach level 80, complete the relevant level 70 job quest, complete the associated role quest line. Quest locations and other details can be reviewed in the level 70 job quest journal. In addition, quests to unlock new content have now become available in the Crystarium. Rest well, Warrior of Light and Darkness. The two worlds of adventure await your return. Yay, Shadowbringers. That's gotta be worth the title. Shadowbringer. Straight up. Boom. Feels good, guys. Well, it is almost 2 a.m., so that's it for tonight. We'll talk on Discord tomorrow about what we're going to do tomorrow night. It will be Final Fantasy night, so we're going to be playing some more Final Fantasy 14. It's just a question of what content we want to do first. Now that we're kind of at the end game, sort of. So, thanks for watching as always, guys. I will see you again tomorrow. Get some sleep. Bye.